Smite of Merain. In today's video, there's a lot to talk about. It's an in-depth review. As a 390 Pulse, it's a midline archetype. It is. It's not bad, but not necessarily good. It's right in the middle. However, there is a theme with some of these King's Fall weapons, and for an archetype that is on that midline, it needs things that set it apart. This Pulse has some of those unique things that make it worth a spot in your loadout. Smite of Merain is actually extremely versatile. Because of that, there is no top role. Now, the goal is to narrow down what brings out the best in your gameplay, what you like to do. Because some of these combos are great, but aren't for you, and some are. With it being a raid weapon, maybe you're a newer player, maybe you solo a lot. These trials weapons, raid weapons, are aspirational in-game weapons. They usually have something, whether it be higher than normal stats, or crazy perks, or crazy perk combinations. This Pulse has some of those crazy things, and not only that, it's craftable with enhanced perks. It takes 5 deep sight. After 5, you unlock the pattern. The database is open now, so we can cover those combinations. I have a lot of them, some very unique ones, especially one that no other weapon can get. We could talk about if it's worth it or not. Now, I do view Smite more as a PvE weapon than in the Crucible. In the PvP section, I'm going to cover why. Base stat wise, it's all in line. Some stats are tied with the highest of others within the archetype. Nothing's the lowest. It has near double the airborne stat of the Adaptive 390, so there's that. It's got a great origin trait. Reloading next to allies overflows the mag. Now in PvE with your fire team, strikes, nightfall, seasonal activities, whatever it is, raid. It's free ammo in the magazine when you reload next to them. Now in the Crucible, same deal. Like at the start of each game, you can shoot a shot, reload, get the ×5 allies that are close, and pretty much double the mag every time. It's a great trait. Barrel wise, when you get the drops or when you get the 5 red borders and craft it, there are 3 options depending on what you want and what kind of player you are. The recoil direction's at 70. So these options, if you want it perfectly straight, number 1, arrowhead is the only way to get it to 100. And that's gonna free up your mod slot. The second thing, a counterbalance mod will get it to 85 vertical. You add on a recoil direction barrel like chambered, extended. It adds +10, so it gets it to 95. It is right there, it's gonna be fine. Now the third way is not to worry about the recoil direction. Just rock the base 70. I don't think that's too bad, I'll talk about that in a second. Now, things like small bore, that sticks out with the counterbalance mod. You could round out stats. That would be small bore, accurized handling masterwork for 60 range, 57 handling, 57 stability. You could also lean all the way into stability, all the way into range, all the way into handling. There's no wrong answer. I'm going to be going arrowhead, accurized, stability, masterwork. That makes it have 100 recoil direction. It's upping the 3 big stats. It's leaning to stability because I'm on controller. Now M&K, I've talked to a couple M&K players about this thing, and they love that vertical 95, 85, 100 smooth recoil. I think that it is fine without a counterbalance mod or recoil direction help, but if you do want that smooth shooting experience, you're gonna have to build into it. For the magazine, if you go steady rounds, you need to make up the penalty with the barrel. Now, a great example is small bore steady rounds. Again, I put on a stability masterwork. You could go range or handling, but with stability, that's the laser beam style roll. Accurize is gonna be great, and if you play a lot of fire team activities, you can get that starting mag even higher so you can overflow even more with appended or extended. Perks. We got some good ones, and as I go through them, I'm gonna give some reasons why you should stay away or consider them. In the third column, ensemble, I would stay away. There are way better perks in here. Moving target, PvP focused, +10 aim assist when you're aiming down sights. Slightly faster strafe scaler. This one's on the fence, it's 50-50. I'll talk about it in the PvP section. Pugilist, final blows grant melee energy. Now this is the melee version of Demolitionist as far as energy gain, 10% more. Now, when you land a melee, you get a brief moment of increased handling. You get 25 handling for 3 seconds after the melee. And I would assume, just like Demo, Enhance gets slightly more energy from 10% to 11. Demolitionist. Get a kill, get 10% grenade energy, enhances 11. Throw a grenade, bypass the reload. Great perk, well-rounded. Throwing a grenade or hitting a target with the melee grants +10 handling, range, and stability. It can stack to ×2, so you have +20 handling, stability, and range. This is a good perk, especially with ability spam. However, I do think that there are better options here. You're going to get more traction out of other perks in this column. Focus Fury, a damage perk in column 3. Land 50% of the magazine as precision hits, a timer goes on the screen for 11 seconds, and you deal 20% more damage. Enhanced goes to 12. And while you're in Focus Fury, you can loop it. You can refresh the timer. It's got a 38 round base magazine. You need to land 19 of those as headshots, and keep in mind, you can overflow the mag with the origin trait. So if you get up to 50, 60 rounds, you still only need to land 19. I'm gonna come back to this. Stats for all, it's a good PvE perk. Damage 3 separate targets within 3 seconds, so you get +10 range stability, +30 handling, +35 reload with a scaler. On the fence, there are some combinations for this, and I'll discuss them after the perk section. Node 2, the final column, 4th, Eye of the Storm, PvP dueling perk. As your health gets low, you gain accuracy. Great perk. I'll talk about it in the PvP section. The enhanced also gives +5 stability on top. We have gut shot straight. It's on a weapon-to-weapon basis. You can increase body shot damage. You get 10% more in this pulse rifle's case, but with the perk, you get decreased target acquisition. I've played with this on a lot of different weapons. I have a moving target gut shot roll. One of them is giving passive plus 10 aim assist, the other one's taking away target acquisition. Moving target doesn't completely cancel it, the aim assist is felt, and on top, PvE wise, other damage perks are just simply better. Crucible wise, it goes from, wait for it, 20 body to 21 body. It does not shift the TTK, it does not help the ease of use. It's a good perk on hand cannon, sidearms, bows, select few other weapons, but on pulses, avoid it like the plague. Swashbuckler and Adrenaline Junkie. Damage perks. Adrenaline Junkie is a grenade final blow to get to a direct ×5 stack. Swash is a melee final blow to get to a direct ×5. Now, Swash can be used with an uncharged melee. For Junkie, you do need the grenade charge. And both of them get damage after weapon kills. ×2, ×3, ×4, ×5. ×5 is 33% more damage, also known as the Long Rampage, if you get 5 straight kills to go to ×5. Now, the only way that you want Swashbuckler is that if you do have a melee build. Both perks get more damage with actual weapon kills, so the difference, especially when it comes to the Crucible. Adrenaline Junkie also gives plus 20 handling after that weapon kill. Swash doesn't do that, so for the Crucible, that is going to be your pick for a damage perk unless you're a melee player. PvE 2, like Liars, Worm God, things like that. Firefly, Precision Final Blow, grants an explosion. You also get plus 50 reload with that headshot, so it takes the base reload to 97 near max. So if you go with Firefly, it makes ensemble stats for all well-rounded, somewhat redundant. Sure, they do give some other stat points, but with Firefly, you're gaining AoE damage, a lightning fast reload, and you can use other perks with Firefly instead of getting plus 10 stability, whatever it is. And as far as PvE, the damage that the explosion does basically represents what a burst would do. It's gonna collateral. In the Crucible, 80 damage to the surrounding area, like 2.5, 3 meters. If you catch someone with it, it can collat them, or it's gonna make them easier to down with follow-up shots. Vorpal Weapon, 20% more damage against bosses and vehicles, and in the Crucible, it's higher, 40-50, meaning it's basically gonna deal about base damage versus a super. One for all, damage perk, hit 3 separate targets within 3 seconds, you get a 35% damage bonus for 10 seconds. Enhanced is 11. In PvE, it's one of the best damage bonuses. Very easy perk trigger, just hit 3 separate targets, 35% more for a long time. As far as the Crucible, in 6v6, One for All does proc a bit if you've never tried it out, because there's so many targets. Like, have you ever tried a high impact scout like Percy's? Hit 3 targets, it starts doing 100 damage with that perk up. Something like Igneous Hammer, same deal, 100 damage after hitting 3 separate targets. This thing gets to about 41 damage per bullet in the Crucible. It is fun, but not the first choice at all. Now on to the perk combinations. I first want to start with the special one, Double Damage, Focus Fury, One for All. You have to think, in a fire team, you're going to be overflowing that mag. And side note, Focus Fury and One for All counters on the screen, the timers, they don't like to be up at the same time, which is kind of lame, but they do proc together. We also have Pulse on the artifact. It always comes up. Barrier, it is unstoppable this season. It's been overload. So in your lost sectors, it could be your ad clear, your ad slayer, and a stunner. Here's how the damage works out. 1 bullet of the 3 burst, we have 1,404 at base. With Focus Fury, 20% more, it goes to 1,684. If you have One for All, hitting the 3 separate targets, 35%, it's 1,895. But when you pair them together, Focus Fury, One for All, it goes to 2,273, which is 62% more damage than base. All 3 bullets, the total burst goes from 4,212 to 6,819. Not bad at all. Because what's so nice about this combination is all you're doing is landing shots, taking things out. You're gonna have times where you go target to target to target, get that 35%. Other times where you're just landing headshots on a major or multiple ads in a row. You're gonna get Focus Fury to proc, and other times they're both gonna proc on top of each other. You can still go target to target to target, get the 35%, and then just start laying down on a major. It's very interesting, quite powerful, no other requirements, just land shots and play the game. It's a recommended role. Play at a distance, just land shots, you have a couple avenues for damage, and they can proc on top of each other. But there's still a lot more to cover with Smite of Merain. PvP-wise, this role, incredibly difficult to get this combination going, especially in the lobbies I've been in, playing solo. I put over 650 kills on various Smite of Merains, and with this combo, the stars have to align, because you have to get 3 targets to shoot at to get 35%. Also, I must have landed, or pretty close to landing, 50% of the magazine's precision hits, and then have more targets to shoot at. A hard challenge, but I did it. And here's those PvP damage numbers. The base is 31, Focus Fury gets it to 37, so it can 2 burst from there. One for All goes to 42 per crit. Obviously, a 2 burst can happen. Stacked together, it deals 50 to the crit. It also does 36 to the body, so you can 2 burst to the body. And I even got a third damage bump from an Empowering Rift that got it up to 57 per crit. Now, I don't recommend this at all in the Crucible. If you're looking for a challenge though, try to get them both to proc. And crazy to think about, if this was a high impact pulse, and I got Focus Fury 1 for all in that Empowering Rift, it would 1 burst for 197 damage. Next combination, Demolitionist Adrenaline Junkie. There's only 3 primary weapons with this combo: Judgment, the Last Breath Auto Rifle, and this. So it's special by itself, in solo play, but also now in a team setting with that overflowed magazine. Run down adds, get your grenade back up. Enhance is giving you more energy per kill. Throw a grenade, final blow, 33% more damage, down more adds, get the nade back, throw it, refill. Just very solid all-around perk combination. It's a top PvE one, but also in the Crucible, because Adrenaline Junkie grants the handling bonus after a kill. There's a lot of things in your favor here. It's enough to push from 31 to 33 for a 2 burst. The nade final blows can happen for 41 per crit, that big damage. As you're getting kills, you're getting the grenade back. Enhanced for more energy, enhanced Junkie for more time. It's a solid roll that's worth a craft. I don't have it, but PvE specifically. Stats for all, 1 for all. If you're landing 3 separate targets anyway, you might as well get all the bonuses. Then we have Focus Fury Vorpal, another double damage perk that's quite interesting. 20% more to majors and bosses with Vorpal weapon, so there's a chance just to get in front of a yellow bar. Get the 20% from Vorpal as you're landing shots, then proc Focus Fury to get that damage even higher. I do think that the 1 for all is more versatile because you can use it on adds, just get a quick 35% buff, then proc Focus Fury later or at a different time. And that brings us to Firefly. Firefly AoE is a very good thing. And when you look at those pairing perks, you think of it like this. You get a headshot, you get AoE for collaterals, you pretty much now have a max reload, 97 on the stat. All those are important, so you're an ad clear with Firefly. And maybe you're shooting an ad, Firefly will stun and unstoppable. But you have to think, what do you want that Firefly damage to do? Because your choices, my favorite, Demolitionist. Those kills are getting grenade energy. You can bypass the reload when you throw that grenade. The second one, stats for all. Firefly Explosion gets multiple targets, it's gonna proc it, you get those bonuses. Or with that explosion, you have Pugilist, more melee energy. So Firefly, in my opinion, is better used with Demo or Pugilist, getting the extra energy off of the collaterals because you're on ad clear anyway with it. You can also do a damage perk, right? Because Focus Fury is there. You can double up the damage perks with Demo or Pugilist with Focus Fury. You have 1 for all at a distance, ability spam with the others. Like I said, very versatile. You need to narrow down what characters you play, how you play them, because when you do build to Smite with a direct build for it, it's going to perform and you're going to love it. Now, on to the Crucible. Here's the deal. Smite is a fun weapon. It is, but it has a lot of issues. First thing, in the upper band, it is tough, like super tough. Everything crushes it in range. If people aren't missing, hand cannons, BXR, everything crushes it. It's got around a 35-37 meter engagement distance, and past that, all of the other pulses beat it. Scouts obviously beat it. It has a 0.93 TTK, 6 crit, 1 body, meaning a third burst has to come out. A lot of the time, you don't even get that third burst out in a true duel. Everything beats it. You're gonna have to use it as a team shot, and in a lot of the gameplay, if you noticed, with the 390, any damage source will push it to a 2 burst. I have Radiant, your Falcon, any damage source makes it a 2 burst, that makes it compete better. But when you look at the perks, I'm telling you, this thing just gets outgunned like 9 out of 10 times. If they're landing, it's over. It's really tough. So when you see things like Moving Target, Eye of the Storm, that looks so good on paper. That sounds great, but no matter what, if they're landing, both of those perks are meaningless. Gut Shot is meaningless. 1 for all, stats for all, well-rounded, ensemble, Eye of the Storm. A lot of perks are thrown out for me personally. If those were on a rapid fire, the discussion changes. On a high impact, the discussion changes. So for me, and what I recommend, in that first column, we have Demo, Pugilist, Focus Fury. The last column, Swashbuckler, Adrenaline Junkie, Firefly. And honestly, I would pair them up. Demo, Adrenaline Junkie, Pugilist, Swashbuckler, Focus Fury, Firefly. And I do have Focus Fury, Firefly, and that's also a solid PvE option. And Focus Fury is noted because you can chip shots in a team setting, building up to a 20% damage bonus. Especially if you're on teammates and overflow that mag to 50 plus shots, you only need to land 19. Then you can 2 burst. Overall, I think it does fall to Demo, Adrenaline Junkie. You get handling after a kill. After that kill, it pushes it to a 2 burst. You have a potential nade final blow for big damage, 41 per crit. Grenade energy on kills. It doubles as a PvE combination. That's where I would go. It struggled, even though it has crazy perks. And I'm gonna end where I started. The 390s do need something. Like in the Crucible, Last Perdition, it has kill clip, it has high range with its scope. Yesteryear, the Gambit 390, it has Desperado. They need something. Radiant and damage buffs, pushing it to a 2 burst is huge. If the lobbies are looser and you're not seeing super meta, sure. Otherwise, be careful. It is a PvE weapon, a powerful, unique one. You can do so much with it. All of these combinations are good. Like, there is no top role. All of the roles that I went over. It comes down to what you like to do, and when you put it all together, it's a must-have. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Smite of Merain down below. What roles are you looking for, and what do you like on it? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.